Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to game number 2, our best of 3 series between Pavlos and Duban. Duban taking game number 1 quite handily on the back of, well, just a decent power play, along with an auctioned hack array. Don't often see $600 power like in a game like that. Philithanix still here with me doing commentary, so hello, welcome. Anything different this time? I'm noticing the aluminum.
The aluminum, a lot less aluminum. This time it's in a real American colony, New Houston. Yeah, this aluminum is quite awkward. It's just this one little patch. I'd be really, even though neither player's gonna do it.
I would have. I'll be honest right now. I would have dropped expansive.
Yes.
Taken all the aluminum. I don't even care.
That's yep. Drop the expansive. Sure, you'll be shipping iron, but you have all the aluminum. It shouldn't matter.
Yep. Literally all the aluminum. There are no core samples. We did make it. I think it might have even been removed, this idea of resources being added to the game if all of them are taken. I think that got removed at some point. So I think that would have been worthwhile. We could have had a really fun game, but it's not what's going to happen this time. Neither player goes for crushing the aluminum. And instead, we have a scientific who is shipping steel and a fairly standard 1-1-1 robotic opening.
Yes, so Duban's at HQ 2 and should have enough cash to purchase a magnetic storm, which I'd like to see him just once his black market cools. Black market cooldown is done, so get a little bit more cash, purchase a magnetic storm, wait for these shipments to come across if Pavlos hasn't split them, and just say, no HQ2 for you, Mr. Scientist.
Yeah, that would be nice to do, but Pavlos is shipping his steel in smaller shipments. He's not waiting for the whole thing to fill up, and it looks like he's going to get it all in that he needs before Duban manages to get the cash together to actually get a magnetic storm out for the time being. But later on, that could still be a major issue. We could even see some mutinies on these steel mills long term.
Instead, both players Duban opting to purchase a bribe claim.
That's what it looks like.
Do one too.
I haven't seen one from Pavlos yet. Still sitting on
just
3.5 for him. He's got the upgrade going though. Is starting to get into the water next to his base, but unfortunately for him, Duban blocking him off from the water that he wanted. Adjacent water, not really an option for Pavlos at this point.
Yeah, that's the only problem with shipping your steel in a 1v1. It's so easy, just go and block. That's water patch if you don't upgrade to HQ2 in time to claim it yourself.
Yes, it is. And Duban, he didn't even want all that water. It looks like he is going to go ahead and put one water pump up, but he moved into a farm for the other claim. He was able to take it back, hadn't put a building there yet. But he is going to finish this other water pump, so that is not going back to Pavlos anytime soon. I gotta say though, I don't know how I feel about just taking the one water tile. It's good, but it is pretty easy for Pavlos to put down maybe a patent lab long term. Go ahead and link all these up so that he has the adjacency to his colony, to his headquarters.
Yes. The only thing is he'll be operating off of 3 maximum water instead of 2. There's that magnetic storm from Duban against some aluminum of Pavlos's. Another option is there are nukes on the board, so
is available for option.
Duban could turn Pavlos's medium into a trace if he wanted to.
Yes, he could. Interesting auction here. Kind of a fair auction, I guess, in some ways. It's adjacent to neither player. It's literally the only aluminum tile in the game that is not adjacent to an aluminum tile a player currently holds.
Sold.
Duban gonna grab it for 10k. It's a nice pickup for him, I think, still. Makes you a little bit more nuke resistant in particular.
Is Duban looking to get into wind turbines again, perhaps hoping to repeat the same power play as last game? The colony has not expanded any more offices, but power is still creeping higher and higher due to robot shipping and both players being in 2 steel mills apiece.
Yep, that will move power up pretty quickly when combined with the offices. No real big surprise there. Pavlos is going to need to be looking for an upgrade before too long. He's actually turned his elemental quarry off for the time being. The power cost alone not being worth it right now. And finally, we see a nuke come down onto the Pavlos aluminum. That is certainly going to make upgrading significantly harder as the game goes on, but mutinies are still available for him.
Mutinies are available, but Pavlos needs... Okay, where is all his cash? Well, he needs
Most of
another
it's in that aluminum.
6.5k to upgrade. It only has 700 cash, so it's unfortunately going to be a while before he's able to afford this glass.
Yeah, the farms are going to have to do work for him. It looks like he went ahead and sent his shipment now, so he will be able to upgrade. Managed to actually get that done. That's certainly a good thing. Going to move into solar panels immediately. I think not a bad idea, but he's going to need to defend them because there are circuit overloads and mutinies and power surges all available this game. Very, very dangerous to operate.
And he has
Without
about 4
goons.
seconds to defend them as Duban's cooldown is up right
The
now.
black market is open for business.
Dubin goes for a...
Going defensive.
Yep. I understand that decision.
I disagree with it, but I
I
understand
disagree with it completely in a 1v1. In an FFA, sure, whatever, go for it, I guess. In a 1v1, though, your opponent's got 3 solar panels down, they just hit. There's an opportunity, you know they don't have a goon squad up yet, right? Buy that circuit overload. It's a scientist, just buy the circuit overload when that tool is available to you like that. But hey, it's Dubin's game, we'll let him play it.
Right. Instead, Pavlos gets those 3 solar panels up. They're paying off 1.1k debt a second. Pavlos just bumped up from C to B, so he will start
Nothing stops
catching up in the
productivity
debt
quite
game
like an
to
electromagnetic
Dubin
pulse.
in about
Available for
a
auction
few
now.
more seconds here after this EMP auction stops.
Yep, EMP auction is always a bit strange in a game with the scientist in the 1v1 because Duban could consider bidding it up. He doesn't want to be hit by it, and he kind of wants it, but it's never going to do nearly as much damage as you wish it would. Dubin is going to grab it for 12k, and it immediately lands on the solar panels. Well, that works for the time being. Had a whole 13-second freeze on one of them.
Yeah, instead of paying off 1k a second in power, Pavlos is only paying off 2k for 13 seconds, and now he's right back up to 600k. I mean 600.
Yep. 600k, that would be impressive. Circuit overload does finally land, but on just one tile for the time being. Duban not really doing anything to knock this price down, so while this is preventing Pavlos from paying off too much debt, it hasn't started benefiting yet. Now that he's going to hit level 4, he needs to really push into this power, and we are going to see the 3rd wind turbine come down.
Going into the 3rd wind turbine, but he's also going into a 3rd steel mill just to consume more of that power. So he's burning about 0.9 a second off those 3 steel mills. And then 1 a second, just a little bit under 1 a second from all the shipping.
And electrolysis reactors coming down. That is not going to help the power situation all that much. Also doesn't look all that profitable, quite frankly, even in just pure cash. 91 oxygen, 57 fuel. Not too high. Circuit overload is going to go nowhere from Pavlos. Just hits 1 little wind turbine for the time being.
The black market is
And
open
Duban
for
responds by
business.
building another one on the other side.
Oh, fair enough. Interesting watching the power market right now, just because all the rest of the resources, most of them are pretty cheap, although aluminum, being quite expensive, is causing Pavlos a problem. He committed all of his tiles
The
to
black
power
market is
generation
online.
on HQ3, and he really probably needs to consider just going ahead and either bribing a claim or getting a mutiny out onto some of Duban's aluminum. Otherwise, it's going to be very, very difficult for him to upgrade this game. $67 aluminum, and he has a stockpile of exactly zero right now.
Yeah, he's gonna need to do something about that very quickly. He went into another solar panel on the opposite side, and there he goes with the mutiny on Duban's aluminum. So we'll get some aluminum coming in and be in a little bit better position. The question is, can he get to HQ5 fast enough? Because Duban's been sitting on, 4 fast enough, but Duban's been sitting on HQ4 for quite a while.
Yeah, and is pushing to 5 pretty rapidly. He only needs about 12,000 to finish that up. Already has all the aluminum he needs, already has all the electronics he needs, can just sit around and wait for the steel to come in from these mills, go ahead and push to 5. I do wonder if this might turn into an Offworld game. Offworld price is not all that great, but Onworld price is also extremely low. It'll be interesting to see what these players want to do, especially with this Thinking Machines auction. I have no idea how this is going to go out. I love this from Pavlos, by the way. Just, he got his solar panel circuit overloaded a while ago, And just
Yes.
turns it back into a silicon mine.
Yep, silicon's
Sold.
57.
The
Might as well
black
make some money
market
off
is
of
open
that
for
while
business.
making it affordable to go into split solar panels.
Yep.
Metal mine back in Duban's hands.
Yeah, that was going to be the downside of going for the mutiny. It was just, it can be mutinied back. There was the option of just pushing into bribing a claim. I think that might have been the better call. But it's hard to say, as your opponent could have mutinied that pretty easily too. Regardless, Duban hits 5, Pavlos still stuck back at 3.
Right, Pavlos. The only bright side that Pavlos has right now is power is still pretty high. He's paying off 1k of power a second, and that now with that freeze will continue to pay off about 1k power a second for, and should be
Well,
able
for about
to pay
5
off.
seconds.
Yeah, I was just
And
to
that's
say,
the issue here, is Knight's here.
Knight.
Now, maybe when day hits, Pavlos is gaining about 300 dead a second right now during the night. But maybe once day hits around midday, we could start see power actually making Pavlos some money, and that could be enough to help him get up through HQ levels. The problem is he's going to be purchasing aluminum in order to do that, which of course Duban is done using and is now just hoarding. And that's just shoveling money into your opponent's pocket, something you would always like to avoid if you can.
Right. Duban is moving out of those electrolysis reactors into farms, which don't consume nearly as much power, or they consume just 0.1 power. Double checking that. And moving into some solar panels. Just mutinying a solar panel. Doesn't want Pavlos to pay off his debt or make any power money whatsoever.
Yeah, interesting to see how Pavlos is going to respond to this, because Pavlos did just recently use his black market cooldown, so 40 seconds until he has it up again. He did, it looks like, bribe a claim. With that, he's got an additional claim right now. He is actually going to use that on aluminum rather than power. Solar flare, that makes things a little more interesting. That Pavlos would like to have that solar panel now.
Yes, he would. He will pay off all of his debt, though, on the strength of his solar flare, and will start making power money. Duban still has another 25k debt to pay through. However, thanks to that solar flare and all of the solar panels, power is going to crash very quickly.
Yeah, Pavlos is going to pull in a little cash from this. It might be enough to let him upgrade, but after that's done, we aren't going to see power recover for quite some time, especially with this Energy Vault auction coming out. 16,000? I do not like that decision from Pavlos. I mean, Energy Vault is a fantastic tool in a lot of ways. Gives you an extra power unit per second just all the time, but as we can see, it wasn't 16,000 that Pavlos lost from that, because power wasn't going to sustain its price that long, but it was about 5,000 actual dollars that he paid for that Energy Vault right now. 5,000 he could have desperately needed.
Nukes on Pavlos's aluminum again. Pavlos is the proud, happy owner of 2 trace aluminum tiles right next to each other, providing 0.38 aluminum each due to their adjacency.
Yep. Could see those transitioned into solar panels eventually, likely not interesting for the time being with power at $5. I do want to see Pavlos making an effort to move out of all of this into money making as fast as he can. And it does look like he's started on that. Unfortunately, because of some of the exact placement of this one of these solar panels is not on top of silicon, so it's a little bit harder to transfer it into something particularly effective. We are going to see a patent lab out of Pavlos at this point. Interesting to see what he wants to do with that. Meanwhile, Duban's just sitting around, I make money, I'm almost at $100,000 already.
Yeah, so Pavlos is in the problem where if he doesn't upgrade, he's going to lose, but if he upgrades, he's going to lose right now.
Yep.
Sort of in a lose-lose situation.
Yeah, just taking too long for Pavlos to get anything done realistically. So difficult to upgrade in a game without aluminum, and Pavlos did not put in a whole lot of effort to fighting over that aluminum market. Frankly, in my opinion, neither player did, but at least Duban went ahead and threw out the nukes. And that has set him up in a position where he looks like he could win the game pretty soon, almost no matter what move Pavlos makes.
Yeah, Duban just needs to realize he has a bunch of, and he does, cash in the form of resources. So he's going to start selling down, crashing some of these prices, buy into Pavlos. Pavlos, I don't think will have enough money to defend himself, although it will be close as Duban needs in addition. He's about 20.
But once he sells his stock, Duban's there. And Pavlos is just nowhere near. This should be over in just a moment.
The black market is open for business.
Pavlos got slant drilling, though.
I gotta make use of that science bonus before dying.
I mean, yeah, that science bonus did an absolutely fantastic job of making sure he did not have enough cash to defend himself as this game wrapped up.
Duban takes a series 2-0 on the a little bit different game this time than the last one, which was one off of the power play. This game is more about preventing the other player from getting any power play.
Yeah, power a relevant factor in both games. I mean, it was a game where people were just a little bit slower to move through upgrades. It felt like power's always going to become more difficult during those as it takes so much longer to get into the power. The price gets too high. But aluminum was realistically the play of the game here. Just making sure Pavlos never had it. Pavlos never upgraded. Nice, clean, easy victory for Duban.
Yes. Surprisingly, Pavlos actually didn't purchase much aluminum. That's in part because they only upgraded once. I mean, 2 times from 1 to 2 and 2 to 3. Because of that, Duban actually didn't make much aluminum. I don't think he sold down his aluminum at the end of the game. Oh, I hit the wrong button and I accidentally exited the game.
That's unfortunate. But yeah, and it wasn't even about what was happening with the aluminum price, but just this threat that Pavlos, if he had ever hit that upgrade button after HQ3, you know, we were watching at times, and sometimes it was like 18,000 to pay for the upgrades, and at one point it got up to like 26,000 or something in order to just pay the aluminum cost to upgrade, because he was never able to develop that stockpile. He was always scrambling for every last bit of aluminum he could get just to get things like his solar panels online. Then he was stuck transitioning, and he never built up the aluminum stockpile he needed so that upgrading was in reach. And so even though the price didn't fluctuate much, not a lot was bought and sold, realistically, if you're going to win a game of Offworld Trading Company that goes to Sol 6, you need to either be producing or buying a lot of aluminum, and that just wasn't happening this game.
Yes, those nukes doing lots of work for Duban. I'm surprised that Pavlos didn't try to nuke Duban back at all. Would have turned one of Duban's strengths into a problem for Duban also. If everybody has no aluminum, then it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, that was one nice thing about Duban's found against Pavlos, is this idea that the robots, at least for upgrades, have that half aluminum cost. Makes handling this low aluminum situation a little easier, but frankly, I'm a little disappointed we didn't just see somebody drop and claim all the aluminum at the start of the game. That's all I wanted to see in my life.